In this quick Python video, we're going to explore making decisions in our programs. So what makes programs interesting is when they can behave differently given different scenarios, right? So in your code, you'll oftentimes have to make a decision. And those decisions are made a lot like you make decisions in real life, right? You are presented a scenario and you are in a particular environment, right? So let's say you're in the grocery store and you see the candy aisle and you love M&Ms and you want to buy a pack of M&Ms, but those M&Ms cost $1 and you have to make a decision. Can you buy those M&Ms, right? Your environment is that the M&Ms cost $1. Now, to determine if you can buy those M&Ms, you have to know how much money you have, right? If you have less than $1, you cannot buy the M&Ms. If you have more than $1, you can buy the M&Ms. If you have exactly $1, you can buy the M&Ms. Those logical tests are how you make decisions in programs, right? Is something equal to something? Is something greater than something else? Something less than something else? And we're going to demonstrate that here. So, we want to buy some candy. And our candy costs 50 cents. And in our wallet, we have 75 cents. And right, we can also model these as floating point numbers, right? So if we were modeling this in dollars, we only had 50 cents, it would be 0.5. And our candy would be 0.75. All right, so now this is candy in dollars. So we have 0.75 of a dollar and 0.5 of a dollar in our wallet. Now, do we have enough money? So if the money in a wallet is greater than or equal to candy, and actually we should call it, price of candy, right? We want our variables to be descriptive, so it's easier for us to understand what our program is doing. If money in wallet is greater than or equal to price of candy, say print, we have enough money to buy the candy. And here we will just put a comment that says end of if. In Python, the white space is very important. This white space here basically means that this print statement is subordinate to the if, right? It's kind of like a little mini program. Everything that's indented in this if is code that belongs to the if, right? So let's say we want to just print 2 lines for that. We have enough money to buy candy, hooray. And just to show you what happens when we take the indentation out, we'll see goodbye. All right, now if we run this program, right, what we see is we only see goodbye, right? And because these 2 lines of code are indented, they're only executed when our condition is true, right? When this condition evaluates true. So in our current situation, is money in wallet greater than or equal to price of candy? Well, money in wallet is 0.5, the price of candy is 0.75. So money in wallet is not greater than the price of candy, and therefore the statement, the expression, money in wallet greater than or equal to price of candy is false, right? Like the expression that we have more money or equal money to the price of candy is false because our environment tells us that our wallet actually has less money than the price of candy. Now, let's just say we ended up with $1.50 in our wallet, right? Now, the money in our wallet is greater than the price of candy, which means that this expression, this conditional test, will return true. So if we run our program, we see we have enough money to buy the candy. Hooray! Goodbye. Now, if we accidentally were to remove our indentation on hooray and let's set our money in wallet back to 50 cents, right? Our money in wallet is greater or equal to price of candy is false again now, right? Because we know that we only have 50 cents in our wallet. If we run our program, we should not see we have enough money to buy the candy. And we shouldn't see hooray, right? But we do see hooray because essentially by de-indenting that line, what we really did is we moved the end of our if up a line, right? So all of the code in between line 4 and 6 is sort of like a mini program that's only going to run when this statement is true, when this test is true. When the money in our wallet is greater than or equal to price of candy, the code between lines 4 and 6 will run. And it's purely based on the indentation, right? So if we indent this again, we run our program, we'll see now hooray does not show up. And we don't want it to show up because we couldn't afford the candy. And the end of the if is here. It's really the if really ends on the line that is de-indented, right? Where the indentation is reduced. So our if technically is lines 5, 6, and 7 is the body of our if statement or our code block if our if statement is true. Now, on the if statement, you also have the ability to create an else. An else has no condition, right? Has no test because it's just the opposite. It's if money in wallet is greater than or equal to the price of candy, then hooray, we have enough money to buy the candy. However, if this scenario is not true, if it's false, then do the else, right? It's mutually exclusive. Like we're either in this scenario or in this other scenario, which is print, I need to wait for more allowance. Print, I cannot afford candy. And here you kind of have the same thing, right? There's this imaginary end of that code block. It's all based on indentation, right? So our else is lined up with our if because this is else that's meant to match this if, right? The code that belongs to this else is the opposite scenario of the code that belongs to this if. So this if and this else go together and they should be lined up. Now if we run our program, we see I need to wait for more allowance. I cannot afford the candy. Goodbye. Because money in wallet is greater than or equal to the price of candy is false because our money in wallet is 50 cents. So therefore, since this is false, the code for our if block is skipped and we move down to our else block and the else will be run. Now, if we change these to inputs, And we'll leave the price of candy at 75 cents, but let's change our money and wallet to an input. And we're going to use a function called float, which is similar to an int, the int function we used in the previous lesson, to convert a string to a float. So here we are going to prompt the user to tell us how much money is in their wallet, which is going to return us a string. We're going to convert it to a float, and then we are going to evaluate if we have enough money in our wallet to buy this candy. All right, so let's run our program. Okay, we can see it says how much money is in your wallet. Well, if I type 1 is greater than 0.75, so it should say that we have enough money. And it does. It says we have enough money to buy the candy. Hooray. Goodbye. Let's run our program again. This time I'm going to enter in 0.4. So I need to wait for more allowance. I cannot afford the candy. Goodbye. Notice it always prints goodbye. Goodbye is not part of our else code block or our if code block. It's outside of those code blocks because it's indented less, right? It's lined up with the else and the if. And if we debug into this, we can quickly see how this code is executed. All right, so it's going to run the price of candy and assign us a variable in memory. It's going to run the money and wallet input. So it asks us for input. We're going to enter 0.8, and it assigned 0.8 to money and wallet. Now we'll step into our if. All right, so it sees our if block, and the whole if block's highlighted, right? Because this is one construct. It controls the flow of our code. This whole if-else block is one big piece of code. And the first step is to evaluate our conditional test, right? If money in wallet is greater than or equal to the price of candy. Well, we can see right now in memory, our money in wallet is 0.8, the price of candy is 0.75. So we should expect this to yield a true. So what it's going to do first is it's going to take the left operand and evaluate it. Say, okay, I have the name money in wallet, but what's the value of money in wallet right now? It's 0.8. So let's substitute that here. And now I have the name price of candy. Let's resolve the price of candy to its value of 0.75. Now let's compare 0.8 and 0.75. Is 0.8 greater than or equal to 0.75? And the result is true. It is true that 0.8 is greater or equal to 0.75. And because it's true, we're going to execute the code that belongs to the if part of our if-else block. So we run our print. You can see the print's output down here in the console. And then we go straight down to line 12 because we came in here, we executed, and we know we don't need the else block because our conditional test was true. So we run our positive scenario and finish out our program by jumping to the bottom of the if-else construct and running the next line of code, which is print goodbye. All right, now let's try this one more time, and we'll debug it using an input value that makes it fall to the else. All right, so this is the same. We're going to step over that line, set the price of candy to 0.75. Now we're asked to enter how much money is in our wallet. We're going to enter 0.25. And we can see here we have 0.25 in memory. Evaluate our money in wallet. Price of candy. 0.25 is greater than equal to 0.75. So this is kind of like a statement. Basically, we're asserting that some value is greater than or equal than this other value. and resolving that that statement is either true or false, given the environment, right? And this is our environment. The candy costs 75 cents and we have 25 cents in our wallet. And that evaluates to false, right? Because we know that 25 cents is not more or equal to 75 cents. The statement is false. And because it's false, we're not going to execute the code in our if block. We fall down to our else block, we run the code there, and we print goodbye. And that's why I was saying that these scenarios are mutually exclusive. They're mutually exclusive because this is going to yield you one of two values. That statement is either true or it's false. And if it's true, you're going to run this code. And if it's false, you're going to run the code in the else, if you have an else. If there was no else code here, it would just go down and print goodbye and the program would end. Hope that helps. Feel free to leave comments and questions if you have any.